Okay, everybody, welcome to 2BASIC, a little series I've started where we're going to go over all kinds of guitar stuff in as simple and as basic of a way as possible, and where there's no such thing as a stupid question. A while back, I did my first 2BASIC video on how to very simply play your guitar through your computer. We went over the basics of audio interfaces, DAWs, all that. So if you need information on that, I'll leave that video linked somewhere in the description or somewhere. But today I want to go over the concept of double tracking. The idea that you record a guitar line and then on another track you record the same thing again. Gives you a better sense of fullness, gives you a more authentic full band sound, and just keeps your guitar lines from sounding a little basic and boring. So to get started, we're going to open up a plugin, find us a tone, a metal tone. Okay, that'll work just fine. So first we're just going to record a real simple line. I'm not going to do anything fancy so that this stays easy. So there we go. Very easy. So some people think that one way of double tracking is to just duplicate your track and then unarm these and then just hard pan them, one left and one right, and they think, call it a day, we're done. But here, let's take a listen to that. That is just a mono sound. That's basically no different from just having one of these in the center track. We've panned them left and right, but they're the exact same thing. They're coming in at the exact same time. It's just mono. You've done nothing here. This is pointless. Don't do this. Some people will take it one step further and say, well, yeah, but you can duplicate it, and then you just take one and just nudge it a little bit, 15 milliseconds, something like that. Just nudge it to the right, and that's all you need to do. And here, listen for yourself. It did change it, but it's still not a very authentic sound. If you have two guitarists playing live, they're never going to sound like this. They're never going to sound identical, just 15 milliseconds off. That's not going to happen. And you could slightly change the tone of the second track. That's something else a lot of people like to do. Maybe just change the speaker profile. But there's still something very manufactured about that. That doesn't sound authentic, doesn't sound real, doesn't create a real good wall of sound that our ears are accustomed to hearing in highly produced albums. So the best thing to do is to just, let's put that back to where it was. Best thing to do is to just double track it properly, which is to record the exact same thing again. Because even though you're playing the exact same thing, you can't 100% accurately replicate any take. That's nearly impossible. There are so many tiny, tiny variables that go into your playing that there's going to be some difference every time you re-record something, even with a simple chord progression like this. So let's record again and you'll see the difference. Now listen. So you can see it looks more or less the same, but there are tiny dynamic differences in the waveforms. You can see my pick attack was a little bit differently. The timing might be the tiniest bit different, but these are differences that our ears aren't really going to be able to pick out. So you can see already, even though the timing is technically worse than when we just duplicated it, you're getting a more genuine sound. Now we can go back and change speaker profiles, mess with the tone just a little bit, and you'll see a much better impact when you do that. So here's what it sounds like. See how that changes the EQ on it. Now when we put them together, so that already sounds a lot better. You can see this is the way to go. There's not really much you can do to get it better than to just record the thing again. Sometimes it sucks, sometimes it's a lot, especially when you're talking about a whole, 6 or 7 minute song potentially. But that's just the way we do it. That's the way everyone's done it. That's the way the best albums sound. That's the way that the best sounding albums have always done it. Now, some people take it a step further. Quad tracking. So we'll create a new track with the same plugin, but let's pick another speaker. Sounds fine. So now this one, so these are panned 100% left and right. This will pan 50% right. And we're just going to record the exact same thing. Okay, so now we're going to get into volume spikes. So I'm going to cut this down just a little bit. Maybe bring the master down a tiny bit, but listen to this. Sounding better, right? Sounding better. But it's a little uneven. So we're going to duplicate this one more time. Gonna switch the speakers once again. Well, actually, here, I'll take a totally different preset that I've got. Let's add this in there. So this one will do 50% left. And again, same exact thing. And now let's take a listen. Now that's pretty good sound for such a simple chord progression. And obviously, I've just been picking random speakers and changing it up. So putting more effort into it will obviously make the sound even better. But I think this already sounds great for just such a simple chord progression. So the hit on that last chord is a little off, I would fix that if I was actually recording something. But this sounds great. You could experiment with this all day. This could be all you need. But time to show you the one shortcut that does kind of work that I like to use. So we'll delete all these. And I'll pull up my riffage tone template. So what I have here are two tracks, both armed, same input, but with completely different plugins on them. Got Polychrome DSP on track 1, and I've got the Barry amp on track 2. Talked about this a little bit in other videos, but so no plugin has true zero latency. We're not there yet, really. High-end plugins like this have minuscule amounts of latency that our ears and brain can't comprehend, really. We hear it as no latency, so they can say it. But they have latencies, 10 milliseconds, 15 milliseconds, I don't know, who knows. and two plugins aren't going to have the exact same latency. And what I found is that difference in latency works wonders towards giving you a double-tracked guitar tone in real time. So Polychrome DSP is 20% on the left, Variamp 20% on the right. This is what it sounds like in real time when I play. So with these, you get what I think is as close to a double track sound that you can possibly get in real time. And what I really love about this is, sorry, I had to fix those settings a little bit. What I love about this is it works really well for transitioning into a lead tone because you can just click on the harmonizer on the Barry amp and it's only adding it on the left. So you get this really cool live lead tone that also sounds like you've got two guitarists working at the same time. You could also do the same thing with like an EQ shift. You know, you could have a really sharp cut somewhere or something and then just cut that on and off as you want to spice up your tone in the middle of a playing or in the middle of a different section or whatever. So that's my shortcut. To me, that's the best way. If you really, really don't want to double track properly, use two different plugins on the same input and you're going to get an amazing sound. Just make sure that the two EQs are working together. They're not contrasting each other. They're not both hitting the same frequency spike or anything like that because that might sound bad. But as long as you get them working together, it's a great sound. I use this combination for so much now, and I know that you'll be able to find a use for it too. So, hope that helped understand why there aren't a lot of shortcuts you can take when double tracking, unfortunately, but if you need to, hopefully this is an option. So anyways, thank you everybody for watching. If you got here to the end, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff, and leave a guitar-related question, you know, no matter how basic or silly you might think it is. Just leave that in the comments, and either I'll answer it or I can make a video on it if it seems necessary. Hope y'all are doing good, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.